Hey everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with my last Superman movie review, everyone. And today we're reviewing Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. That is correct, because that is the only version of this movie that you should watch, because there's a 30-minute addition of footage that actually makes the story flow a lot better than the theatrical cut of this movie did. So yes, the Ultimate Edition is the best way to watch this movie. So it's not the first Superman movie that I've watched that's like this. And this is not just a Superman movie. Even though technically this is a Man of Steel sequel, mostly, but the Warner Brothers studio, kind of stepped in because I really think that this was going to be a Man of Steel sequel, like fully. Like, I really think it was going to be. But then they wanted to shoehorn and fast track the DC universe and get a universe built so that they could get and capture what Marvel was doing, basically, but they didn't let it build and take time to flush out. They were just like, let's go, we're gonna put all this shit in this movie and we're gonna get Justice League going. So they fast tracked everything. So basically, from what I've read, I know over the years is that they basically told Zack Snyder, well, we want Batman in this movie. So yes, then the title ended up being Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, which it borrows stuff from the awesome Frank Miller comic book, The Dark Knight Returns, where Batman and Superman have an epic fight. So yeah, that's kind of the gist. I mean, this is half a Superman movie, so that's why I'm going to review it and put it in the ranking with all the Superman movies. I will not be putting Justice League, that crappy Justice League movie, and I'm not going to put the Snyder Cut in there because Superman really isn't in that movie, like either of those movies, until the very end. So, even though he is in them. So, this movie is directed by Zack Snyder, of course, everybody, and it came out in 2016. Stars Henry Cavill as Clark Kent, aka Superman. And then it also stars Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, Batman. Very brute force, physical, the biggest looking, scariest physique looking Batman we have ever seen on screen to date. Like, Ben Affleck got super jacked for this movie. Jesse Eisenberg plays a very crazy, weird iteration of Lex Luthor in this movie. Amy Adams is back as Lois Lane. Lawrence Fishburne is back as Perry White. Diane Lane is back as Martha Kent. Who else we got? Jeremy Irons is freaking Alfred in this movie. There's all sorts of people. Holly Hunter plays a politician in this movie. Her and Lex have some pretty interesting scenes together in this movie. And then, of course, Jason Momoa is in this movie briefly as Aquaman, Ezra Miller, The Flash, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Ray Fisher as Cyborg. I mean, Gal Gadot gets a little more screen time than those other three, but the other three in there very briefly. So, because this movie is interesting. I've always enjoyed this movie as a sequel to Man of Steel because to me, I feel like it is a sequel to Man of Steel. Like, it really is, because it picks up at the very end of Man of Steel, except for we're getting to see what is going on when him and Zod are fighting at the end of Man of Steel through Bruce's eyes on the ground in Metropolis. I thought that was a genius way to open this movie and really set up why Bruce wants to take out Superman. Like, he really thinks that he could possibly destroy humanity because of what he witnessed on the ground and everything. Watched all the destruction galore, and the sequence with him driving through all the destruction is pretty entertaining. So, because Zack Snyder is amazing at visuals and shooting action shit, so he's very good at that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's where the movie starts out. It's very interesting. And then it picks up about 18 months later after the events of Man of Steel. So, and you know what? I think Henry Cavill, yeah, a lot of people said his Superman is super dark and he doesn't really smile that much. Yeah, in this movie, he does not, because here's what the thing is where I'm mostly going to talk about the Superman stuff in this movie because it's a Superman review series. I will touch on Batman a little bit. Um, so Henry Cavill's Superman saved humanity. He chose humanity over Krypton and destroyed Krypton's last chance to create life again and become a race of beings again. He chose humanity. He saved Lois Lane. And you would think that, okay, he made the right decision. Well, this are these characters and this version of Superman are kind of in a real world setting. It's very grounded and a real world take on this shit. So not everybody likes Superman. And that's the thing is like, even though he did the right thing, he's still facing people who don't like him because they fear him and they don't like all the destruction and all the people that died when he was fighting Zod, saving humanity, because a lot of people died. A lot of people died. Metropolis was like leveled mostly. So he's dealing with the ramifications of this shit, even though he's still saving people. He's doing the best he can. He's saving as many people as he possibly can. He thinks he's being the best Superman that he can be, or what he thinks they need him to be, but he still has haters. And that is very relevant with how life is, because whether you are a professional athlete, you're on YouTube, even at school, no matter what you do sometimes, you're never going to make everybody happy, unfortunately, in life. And I love that they put that in this movie. Like, I really do. I really think it's a cool concept to explore with Superman. Like, really, I just think it's smart. And just a new take to go down with this character. I mean, and it's real. It just feels very realistic to me. And I enjoy that whole concept of it. His Clark Kent, though, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Henry Cavill's Clark Kent, because when I see his Clark Kent, because we get to see him at the Daily Planet in this movie, he just seems like the Clark Kent that we got in Man of Steel, where he wasn't Clark Kent. It was just him as Superman, just not in the suit. And that's kind of what he does at the Daily Planet, even though he's got the tie and the nice shirt. He's wearing jeans, a little modern take on him. And he's got the glasses, but he doesn't change at all. He doesn't have any of that bumbling, stumbling, idiot side of Superman being Clark Kent thing. That's not there. So that I was kind of disappointed about. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg can act. He's a good actor, but he did I'm pretty sure what they wanted this Lex Luthor to be. He's the son of Lex Luthor. His dad passed away, so he's taking over, and he's kind of that Lex Luthor in the background, and he's kind of pushing. He basically takes Batman and Superman and pretty much turns them against each other and starts laying the groundwork and the pieces. He's like playing chess with these guys and manipulating both of them and messing with both of them, like leaking shit to the media and faking things to blame Superman on all this shit when he really didn't do anything. And he's the one behind the scenes causing all this crap and making freaking Bruce just hate Superman even more and just get this rage inside of him to where he wants to kill him. He literally wants to kill him. And he tries. He goes and gets kryptonite and everything. And we get the classic Batman armored suit from friggin' The Dark Knight Returns. And we get this showdown with Batman and Superman. That's right. And you know what? It's not the best fight sequence in the freaking movie, unfortunately, which is kind of a bummer. It's more of a tactical, like, use your mind and your strategy type fight. The fight really wasn't ever quite what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be this epic fight sequence that was going to be just crazy and off the hook. But it wasn't. It was something a little different. It still was cool to see because there's a lot of stuff ripped right out of the Frank Miller comic book, man, that they put right on the screen. A lot of this movie is that. Like, it really is. But yeah, that was kind of a bummer too. But I mean, overall, I really enjoy this version of this, like, this movie. I do. I like Batman as, you know, the guy that's defending humanity, going up against a god, basically. Because Zack Snyder, I guess the way I look at it is he views these DC heroes as gods, not as superheroes. In his reality that he has the DC universe set in, I think he views them as gods, basically. Gods among men, basically. Like kind of like the video game. Which I think is kind of cool. It's just a different take on it. But yeah, I like the Superman shit in it. Batman is great in this movie. I think Ben Affleck does a great job as Bruce Wayne and Batman. The warehouse fight sequence with Batman in this movie is still the best fight sequence with Batman in any live action movie we've gotten. That includes the newest one, The Batman. Like, it really is the best one still to date. Ben Affleck's Batman is so brutal in this movie. Like, that fight sequence is insane. Everybody pretty much thinks that. The Batmobile is pretty cool. We get to see Superman, like a little montage of Superman saving some people from floods and a silo from a space launch thing that goes wrong. He saves a little Mexican girl at Day of the Dead, which was a cool little sequence where he sets her down on the ground and all the people rise with him and he's just standing right in front of him and they're all just like, they worshiping him like a god. Like, it's just lots of cool concepts in this movie. But the thing about this movie is even with the Ultimate Edition is Warner Brothers was forcing too much into this movie because they wanted to introduce Wonder Woman, which when she gets introduced at the end when they're fighting Doomsday, which I'm not a big fan of, it's great. It's cool to see her. It's awesome. I don't really think that she needed to be in the movie, to tell you the truth, because I don't think Doomsday should have been in the movie either. Because you got the introduction of Wonder Woman. They tease the Flash. They tease Cyborg. They tease Aquaman. Like, and then also we're getting all this setup stuff for Justice League. And then Doomsday is actually the big baddie at the end of the movie that Lex is basically growing in the Kryptonian ship. So you got Doomsday. And then you got the death of Superman, because Superman dies at the end of this freaking movie. Like, whoa. We got to pump the brakes here, people. Pump the brakes. They're getting a little crazy. There's just a lot packed into this movie. And then the core thing of the movie is Batman versus Superman. Like, they could have spent the entire movie on that concept. They didn't need any of that other stuff. So it's just, it had a lot jammed into it, and it does affect the movie ultimately. I still enjoy the movie a lot. I think it's a great sequel to Man of Steel. And it's an okay setup for the Snyder Cut. Not that shitty Justice League movie, but I think it's a pretty good setup for what the Snyder Cut ended up doing once we got to see it finally. So overall, like I said, I actually enjoy Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Edition at least, not the theatrical cut. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed these reviews for the Superman movies. I will be doing a ranking of all the movies next week, and then I will rank all of the live action actors that have played Superman, even in the TV shows. So you guys can look forward to that next week, and I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you on the tube later because I have spoken.